So in this part 2, I'm going to talk about what I personally did to prepare for the audition and little tips that I have for when you actually audition. One of the things I did is just like what you guys are probably doing if you're watching this, is I went on YouTube and I went online and I searched for other people's experiences of auditioning for The Voice. So that's definitely a good thing to do, is try to find YouTube videos or blogs where people talked about their experience auditioning for The Voice. Could vary from season to season. From what I found from other people's videos and stuff, it was pretty similar to my experience. One big tip that I have is keep your artist audition pass with you at all times, because you will definitely need it. And that also includes your release forms, and if you're a minor, your parental consent forms. I think what I would do if I were you is I would just staple all those things together, and if they need to separate them, they can just tear it apart. But you definitely need your artist audition pass because they'll scan it a lot. As I explained in the video before, they scan it a lot to allow you to keep moving forward into the audition, and you can't audition without it. So make sure you don't lose it, and make sure you have it before you get there. I just kept my artist audition pass and all those forms. I had them like paper clipped together, which probably isn't the best idea. I'd rather staple it. And I just kept it in my bag or kept it in my hand like the whole time until they collected it. Bags and what to bring. I mean, you can check out NBCTheVoice.com and look to see if there's any rules about this stuff. But as far as I know, there are no restrictions with bag size, which I found surprising. Most people are probably gonna bring a purse or like a beach tote or something like that. This was the bag that I brought. It's just a simple drawstring bag. It's not too big, and I can put it in my back. Backpacks, I think backpacks might be okay. It's just that they might be a little suspicious of it or whatever. Like those really big purses. You don't really need to bring that much stuff with you, so I don't think you really need big bags. That might look a little suspicious if you bring in like this giant bag. Try to bring like a normal sized bag, like a beach tote or like that bag that I just showed you. A backpack might be okay. I think I saw people with backpacks, so I mean a backpack should be okay and that kind of thing. What to bring. Like I said in the video before, they do have water coolers in the holding room, but I think the water is ice cold, which is not good for your vocal cords. So try to bring a bottle of room temperature water if you can. I brought 2 bottles of room temperature water with me. You also need your artist audition pass, your release forms, and if you're a minor, your parental consent form. You also need a photo ID, which I explained in the previous video. A driver's license is fine if you have one, state ID, passport. I even actually brought 2 forms of ID with me just in case they needed an extra one, which they didn't, but if you have 2, then bring 2. Just make sure you don't lose them. Obviously, we all have cell phones, so you're gonna bring your cell phone. Pictures, I kind of talked about this a little bit in the other video, but I think you can take pictures just as long as you don't take them inside the actual audition room, and try not to take pictures of people, like their faces, or be posting it everywhere without their consent and that kind of thing. If you're just doing it for your own personal keepsake, that's fine. I only took a couple pictures inside the holding room because you're usually waiting in line or you're moving, so you don't really have time to take pictures of things anyway, and there's not much to take pictures of. Pictures are fine, just not in the audition room. Some people brought like a book with them. Like the girl that was sitting next to me was reading a book. I think those are good. A book or a magazine is fine for when you're sitting in the holding room. You want to be alert at all times just in case they say something to you. If you're gonna listen to your iPod, I would just have like one earbud in and then keep one out so that you can hear, or maybe just say to the person next to you like, hey, can you let me know if they say anything, that kind of thing, because you don't want to miss anything that they said. Some people made chit chat while they were in line, which I wouldn't really recommend doing because you want to save your voice. As far as snacks go, you definitely want to bring something because you could be waiting for hours for all you know. But you have to be careful about what kinds of food you bring. Definitely avoid dairy products because if you're a singer, then I think pretty much all of you guys should know that dairy is really bad for your vocal cords. it creates a lot of phlegm and mucus in the throat, and you don't want that. Like, don't bring Cheez-Its or Goldfish chocolate. Don't bring chocolate, so like cookies or anything like that. Don't bring chocolate. Fruit is probably okay. I brought granola bars. Gluten is also not good. So if you can find like a gluten-free granola bar, or like I know Chex makes like gluten-free cereal, so maybe something like that would be okay. I brought like Special K like granola bars and like the chewy granola bars and stuff like that. Here is a tip that I think a lot of people probably don't know, and believe it or not, I actually learned this in broadcasting school. When you're nervous, your mouth gets dry, and obviously it's hard to sing when your mouth is dry. So the cure for a dry mouth is not water, believe it or not. The cure is actually Granny Smith apples. The night before, I cut up a Granny Smith apple and I just sprinkled a little bit of lemon juice on them and put them in a baggie and put them in the fridge overnight. And they didn't, you sprinkle lemon juice over them to keep them from getting brown, and they did not get brown at all. Like, they stayed fresh for like hours or days or whatever. Don't soak them in lemon juice because then they'll taste like lemon. So just sprinkle a little bit of lemon juice on them and let them chill overnight or whatever, or even do it that morning if you have time. If you feel your mouth starting to get dry, just take a bite of the slice of Granny Smith apple, and that's also a good snack, non-dairy, non-chocolate. That's a good snack to have as well. So Granny Smith apples with a little bit of lemon juice. Mints are probably a good idea too. I don't know if like mint that might not be good for your vocal cords, I don't know, but if you're gonna be sitting next to people or singing in front of people, you probably wanna have a breath mint. Instruments. You're not allowed to audition with an instrument, so I don't really see the point in bringing one with you. Some people bring them just to keep themselves entertained while they're waiting, or to like help them warm up. Maybe like a ukulele or maybe a guitar is fine, but anything other than that, like, I just wouldn't bother with an instrument at all. But if you have to bring one, something like small and easy to carry around would be preferable. Sweatshirts. I auditioned in July, so obviously it was hot out, but sometimes the buildings where you're auditioning can be air conditioned and they can be like freezing. If what you're wearing, like if your outfit doesn't have sleeves or anything, maybe bring a sweater or a sweatshirt with you just in case it gets really cold, and then you can take it off when you go to audition. I was wearing like a little jacket thing anyway, so I didn't really need one. So, I mean, you never know. Like, sometimes, like, if it is summer, it could be hot. But, you know, I've heard from other people who auditioned that where they went, it was freezing because of the air conditioning. So, just to be on the safe side, you can bring a hoodie with you. And if you don't need it, you don't need it. It's better to have it and not need it than to need it and you don't have it. Throat spray. If you have throat spray, stick it in your bag. You can just give yourself a couple spritzes if you need it. If you get nervous, maybe like if you have some lavender oil or like something that kind of calms you down. Obviously not drugs. No drugs or alcohol are allowed. But, you know, if you have like a little lavender oil or something that you like, you know, feel free to bring that. I actually brought a stick of deodorant with me just in case, like, because you will sweat because you're nervous. Maybe if you're in the bathroom and you just want to do a quick swipe of deodorant or whatever, or bring those like wipes with you to kind of clean yourself up a little bit, feel free to bring those. Outfits. On the website, it does say to dress like as yourself. Like, don't try to be something that you're not. Don't dress as something that is not your style, because you will feel uncomfortable, and the most important thing is to feel comfortable when you're going to sing an audition. What I wore was a black camisole, kind of like this, but this is a tank top, but like a black lace camisole, and like a little black jacket kind of thing with like elbow length sleeves, and skinny black jeans, and like platform cork wedges. And I just had my hair down like this, and I put a little bit of makeup on, like basic makeup. And I had some bracelets on for jewelry. I would say try to dress nice, but don't dress in something that's not you. I think it has some rules on the website about, like, you know, don't wear clothes that have like profanity on them. You should probably be covered like decently, like don't have your boobs hanging out or anything like that. And also, they do not take joke contestants. Don't come dressed in a chicken suit or whatever, because they're not even going to take you seriously. You have, like, even the people who are serious, a lot of them still don't get through, so don't even try it. Just be yourself, but be like a dressed up version of yourself. Or like, what would you wear if you were gonna go perform on stage? Because they're not looking for people to come in like a business suit. Like, it's not like a corporate thing. It's like what I'm wearing, like this tank top with like sparkles on it with like a little denim jacket or something would be fine. Like, just wear something that's you, but also something that you would wear on stage if you were performing. Also, for heels, this was actually another thing I brought with me. I actually stuck a pair of flip-flops in my bag, because if you're for all the girls, if you're gonna wear heels, just beware, you could be standing in line for a long time. So heels might not be the best option. So either try to wear flat shoes, or if you're not wearing flat shoes, bring a pair of flat shoes in your bag. Just stick a pair of flip-flops in your bag. Your feet get tired, you can just switch them, and then when it's time for your audition, switch them back. So definitely bring flip-flops if you're gonna wear heels. As far as the bathrooms go, like I mentioned in my other video, there was a time when we were waiting in line where there was a restroom and we got to go, and when you're in the holding room, they will give you warnings about when your last chance is to use the bathroom. But after that, you don't get to use the bathroom. And I kind of touched upon this in my other video, but you know, when you have the chance, take it. Even if there's gonna be other people using it at the same time, the worst thing you can do is like, because like I said, when you're nervous, you feel like you have to pee, even if you don't really. That's just the feeling you get when you're nervous. The last thing you wanna be thinking about when you're auditioning is that like you have to pee. So, because there were some people while we were waiting outside of the room, some people in my group were like, can we use the bathroom? And they're like, no. So you don't wanna be sitting there like having to pee. When you have the chance to use a restroom, go. Song choice, this is a big one. There's a Twitter account called The Voice Casting that I recommend you guys follow. I think they also have a Facebook page, and they actually have released a couple times, they've released they've released a list of songs that they don't recommend people sing. You can choose any song you want to sing of any genre, any era. You can even choose a song in another language if you wanted to, but they have released a list of songs that they have heard one too many times. I'm sure you guys can think of some of them, like Adele, Somewhere Over the Rainbow, Rehab by Amy Winehouse, probably a lot of Katy Perry songs, Say Something, or you know, like a lot of songs that you guys have probably heard people do on these shows over and over and over again, and you're sick of hearing them. Well, guess what? They're sick of hearing them too. It's just in your best interest not to do a song that's like been overdone. Probably a lot of Bruno Mars songs have been overdone. Try to pick a song that people would know, and try to pick something that's probably current, but don't pick something that's been done too many times, which is kind of a hard thing to do. But like I said, I sang Born to Fly by Sarah Evans, which it's a song that's been done. Like, I know the season 4 winner, Danielle Bradbury, she sang that on the show. So it's been done, but it's not really, really common. And it's a relatively current song. I think it came out in the year like 2000, 2001 or something. So it's relatively current, but it's not like really, really current. And it was something that showed off my style as well. Try to pick something that shows off your voice, that shows off your style, that's a good audition song, because not every song is made to be sung as an audition. You only get a verse and a chorus. So some songs don't really work like that. Like, there's a song called Coal Miner's Daughter by Loretta Lynn that literally does not have a chorus. It's just all verses. And it keeps raising up by a key every couple verses. So that's not a good audition song, because there's no way to end it cleanly unless you sing the whole song. So be very careful about what kind of song you pick. Make sure that it lends itself to being sung in 1:30. As far as like lyrics go, I don't know about profanity. I think it'll say on the website if profanity is okay. I wouldn't pick any songs that have a lot of like swearing in it. Like, maybe if it says damn, that's fine, but if it has like F word or S words in it, probably steer clear of those. As far as what people picked in my group, like I said, there was a guy who sang Dance With My Father by Luther Vandross, which is a very well-known song. The first girl to sing in my group that I thought had a strong chance of getting a callback, she sang Royals. That's probably a song I wouldn't do because it's been overdone. there are actually a lot of people who pick songs I never heard of, or by artists I never heard of. There's one girl who sang, I think it was a Christian song. If you're a CCM artist, that might be okay. It's just, I don't know how they really respond to CCM artists. I think they kind of want you to stick to something that's kind of current and kind of poppy, like either pop or country. Don't pick something super obscure because nobody's ever heard of it. Don't pick something that's been really overdone either. So that's like a very hard thing to pull off. Not every song is made to be sung a cappella. Some songs really only sound good with the music. Like, I think When I Was Your Man by Bruno Mars, because that piano track in the back is so, like, it's such a big part of the song. I think it's possible to sing that song without the piano track, but it might not quite give off the same effect as when you have the music. So definitely that's another thing to be aware of with song choice, is make sure it's a song that can be sung in 1:30. Make sure it shows off your voice. Make sure that it sounds good even without music. And don't pick something that's really overproduced. A lot of pop songs now are very, very overproduced and hard to sing because there's so much vocal layering, there's a lot of auto-tune, and things like that. Like the song Shake It Off by Taylor Swift is a good example. It's very hard, I think, to pull off that song without all that production going on. So song choice is probably the most important thing, which they stress on that show and on other shows as well. The song choice could possibly make or break your audition. So I was kind of lucky that I picked a song that kind of met all those requirements. It's like if you don't get picked, then you might always be wondering, what if it was the song choice? What if I had sung this song instead, you know? So you want to, do yourself a favor and just be wise with your song choices. That's all I can really say. You might be able to tweet the Voice casting Twitter thing and just ask them, like, hey, this is what I was thinking of singing. Does it sound good? And they might be able to tell you yes or no. But, I mean, all you can really do is get feedback, maybe from other people. If you guys want, you can leave comments below my video and ask me anything that I haven't touched upon, or you can ask me questions, like if you're gonna go audition, you can ask me, hey, does this song choice sound good to you, or whatever. But yeah, that's all I can really say about song choice. The experience itself and like the producer part of it and everything. Like I said in my other video, nobody in my group got put through, and there were some good singers. So I mean, like I said, it's a TV show. They're not just looking for good singers, but they're casting for certain kinds of people who are going to be entertaining to the audience, and who also they think would be marketable in today's pop industry and that kind of thing. Just because you don't make it through, it doesn't mean that you're not a good singer or that it's not something you should pursue. It just means that, like I said, they said to us that they raised the bar very high this year. What they're looking for, I don't know. I mean, The Voice haven't had a Kelly Clarkson or a Carrie Underwood, so maybe that's what they're looking for, which that is raising the bar very high. It doesn't mean that you're not a good singer, it just means you're not quite what they're looking for, or maybe they think you're not entertaining enough, or they don't think that you're maybe marketable enough or something like that. I don't know. Just keep that in mind. I think I gave a good audition because I took a lot of pressure off myself by just not making a big deal out of it. Even though it is a big deal, I was just like, okay, you're probably not gonna make it through. Just focus on giving a good audition. And then if you do make it through, then great. Because if you're thinking about it too much, like I have to make it through, some people think like The Voice is the only way to make it into the music industry or something. That's not true. So some people put too much pressure on themselves by making it this huge thing, and then they screw up because they're so nervous. Don't think about that. Just think about doing your best and just giving a good audition, and I promise you will do better, because that was one of the best auditions that I ever gave for anything, because I just took a lot of the pressure off myself and just focused on what I had to do. Don't be scared of your competition. Like, even though these people are your competition, you're waiting in line with these people for a couple of hours, and you're kind of making chit chat with them, and you're all going after the same thing. So you find yourself rooting for them. Like, you know, you clap after everybody's done. Everybody's supportive of each other. So, you know, there's no reason to be like afraid of other people or afraid that somebody's gonna be better than you or anything like that. Just focus on doing what you have to do and, you know, not messing up lyrics or anything like that. And I promise you that you will do a lot better. These things are hit or miss. There's so many variables. It could depend what day you're auditioning, what time of day you're auditioning, how many people have they seen already that are just like you, and have they put any of them through? What producer are you getting? There are different producers in each room, so maybe if you didn't make it in that room, for all you know, you could have made it in another room, just depending on the producer. Maybe it was your song choice, maybe it was the way that you dressed. You know, who knows? It's hit or miss, it really is. So don't be too stressed if you don't make it. I mean, you can always try out again. The Voice is on twice a year, so you can always, you know, 6 months later you can audition again, or you can also audition by sending them a DVD. If you don't make it in one city, you can actually audition in every single city if you wanted to. There are other shows to try out for, there are other ways of making it to the music industry. This is really just more of a learning experience than anything. Just being able to prove to yourself that you can do it, I think is a pretty big accomplishment. Don't be too stressed if you don't make it. That doesn't really mean anything. Take it as a learning experience more than anything. As far as like relaxing, what I did to actually relax myself, you know, especially when you get up in the morning, you might be really nervous. I know, like, I was more nervous just on the way over there than I was when I actually got there because I was just waiting to get there. Just take deep breaths. If you have something that you like that calms you down, like lavender oil or whatever, you know, have some of that, have some tea. Don't eat anything that's like gonna upset your stomach. Eat, you know, light. Don't eat anything that's gonna ruin your voice. Have some water. Maybe listen to some relaxing music on the way over. I think the biggest thing you can do is just not think about it too much. Like, don't make a big deal out of it, because when you make a big deal out of something, then you're gonna psych yourself out. Just think of it like, hey, I'm just gonna go audition for this thing, sing for some people and see how it goes, and you know, if I don't make it, whatever, it was a great experience, you know? And I think by just relaxing, it really takes the pressure off and you'll do so much better. Besides deep breaths, like right before I was gonna sing, you know, I took a deep breath, like, and I literally went like this, like shaking my arms, and that might look really stupid, but you gotta do what you gotta do. You know, everybody in that room is a singer. They all know, you know, like when I was waiting in line, there were people, you know, going, woo! You know, they were doing that thing. They were like warming up and doing that thing, and it's like, nobody's gonna think you're weird for doing that. Like, some people might be embarrassed to be going like this or going, woo! You know, everybody in that room is a singer. Everybody knows what you're doing, so don't feel weird or don't feel like an idiot for doing those things, because everybody knows what you're doing. Do whatever you have to do to get comfortable, to warm up. Like right before I was gonna sing, I think really going like this, like just shaking out the nerves, I think was a really big help. Just do whatever you have to do to get comfortable. The biggest thing you can do is just take the pressure off and just focus, like literally, if you just focus on what you have to do, remembering the lyrics, and hitting the right notes and just giving the best audition that you can give, you will do so much better than if you're thinking too much about like what's writing on it and like, oh my god, I have to make it through and all that kind of stuff. I think I hit on pretty much everything I want to talk about as far as tips go. So if you guys have any more questions about something I didn't talk about, just leave a comment below and I'll try to respond to the best of my ability. You can also try going on to NBCTheVoice.com and looking at their FAQs and their, you know, everything that they have on their site. You can try tweeting at The Voice Casting and ask them questions. So hopefully maybe somebody that's actually part of the casting process can maybe answer questions for you as well. So thank you guys for watching. I hope that the video is helpful to you, and if you're going to be auditioning for The Voice, I definitely wish you the best of luck. It's a big deal. It's a really big experience that I think any aspiring singer should do. Whether you make it or not, it's a big experience. You can grow from it, learn from it. You meet some really interesting people while you're doing it. It's just one more thing you can say that you did. Like, you could say, I auditioned for The Voice. I think it will help you grow as an artist, as a singer, as a performer. So I think if you have the chance to do it, definitely do it, because you don't want to have the chance slip away and be always wondering, you know, what if. So if you have the chance to go, definitely go. And then you can post your own video talking about your experience, and hopefully that can help other people. Just like, you know, I thought, okay, I didn't make it, but I can talk about my experience, and maybe this will be helpful to other people that are gonna audition too. So thank you for watching, and if you have any questions, I'll try my best to answer them. Otherwise, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys soon.